What's up, guys? So, huge news today. There have been a ton of leaks recently about Apple's big upcoming foldable iPhone. And trust me, these leaks could completely change the game for Apple and the foldable phone industry. In the last 30 days alone, we've gotten some huge updates, and I want to break down everything we know so far. We're talking potential designs, specs, release dates, and prices. It's all on the table today. So, let's dive right in. Now, first things first, let's answer the big question. Will we even get a foldable iPhone? Is this really happening, or is it just another crazy rumor? Well, based on recent leaks, it looks like Apple is finally jumping into the foldable market, and it's about time. We've seen Samsung and a ton of other brands drop foldable phones like the Galaxy Z Fold, and even more recently, Oppo has been in the foldable game with its Oppo Find N. So it's not really a surprise that Apple would want to get in on the action. So, here's where things get interesting. According to a new leak from ZWZ, which claims to come straight from Apple's production line, Apple's definitely working on a foldable iPhone, and it's expected to drop in 2026. That's right, 2026 is the target year. According to these leaks, Apple is experimenting with a couple of foldable designs. Some are looking like a flip-style phone, similar to Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip, while others are showing us a book-style fold, like the Galaxy Z Fold. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. There's been talk for years now about the dreaded crease that plagues foldable phones. The foldable phone market, especially the Galaxy Fold series, has been infamous for this unsightly crease in the middle of the screen. It's something that's made many hesitant to jump into the foldable market. But according to recent leaks, Apple may have finally figured out a way to make a crease-free display. Now let's be honest here. Apple has always been about perfection. They don't just release products for the sake of it. They wait until they've got something truly revolutionary. And it seems like Apple has been holding off on making a foldable phone until they could get rid of this issue once and for all. As of right now, they seem to have nailed it, meaning a crease-free, foldable iPhone might actually be on the horizon. That's huge. Look, I know what some of you are thinking. Apple's been way late to the foldable phone party. Samsung's already on their Z Fold 6, and we're about to see new foldables from them and other brands like Oppo and Motorola. So why has it taken Apple this long? Honestly, I think this was always part of the plan. If you look back, Apple's been pretty strategic with their product releases. They waited until 5G was mature before releasing the iPhone 12. They didn't jump on the wireless charging bandwagon until it made sense. And foldable tech? They waited until the crease was a thing of the past. You can bet Apple's been watching this technology closely, and now they've perfected it. The iPhone foldable is no longer just a dream. It's going to happen. Now let's talk about Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple's go-to analyst, who's been spot on with leaks in the past. He's recently come out with some new info, and it looks like we might see two foldable models. One would be a clamshell-style iPhone, which could rival the Motorola Razr and Galaxy Z Flip, and the other one would be a book-style fold, similar to the Galaxy Z Fold series. Let's start with the flip-style iPhone. Kuo says that this phone would feature a 5.5-inch external display. And while that's a bit small compared to what we're used to with modern iPhones, it's still a decent size. For context, the iPhone 6 Plus had a 5.5-inch display back in 2014, so it's not completely unheard of for Apple to go this size. When you open up this foldable iPhone, you'll get a larger internal screen, likely in the ballpark of 7.8 inches. That's about the size of the iPad mini, but in a foldable form factor. Imagine holding an iPad mini in your pocket. This could be a total game changer for portability and productivity. The internal screen would be large enough for apps, multitasking, and even gaming, while the external screen would be more for notifications, calls, and quick tasks. Now, for the book-style foldable iPhone. This is the one I'm most excited about. According to Kuo's leak, this phone would feature an internal screen that's around 7.8 inches, which is just slightly smaller than the iPad mini, 8.3 inches. That's a nice big screen for all sorts of tasks, from reading to watching videos to running productivity apps. But the big question here is how Apple's going to implement iPadOS or iOS on a larger foldable device. I mean, iPadOS is already a thing, but how will Apple optimize it for a foldable screen? And let's not forget, we've seen things like multitasking on iPads that could work perfectly for a foldable device. I'm expecting Apple to seriously revamp the user interface to make the most out of that big foldable display. Something I'm also expecting is a screen on the back of the phone, likely for notifications. With the flip-style iPhone, the small external screen could show your notifications, time, and maybe even let you respond to messages without opening the phone. It's a feature we've seen in other foldables, and it makes sense for Apple to implement this in their own foldable models. So, let's talk about software for a second. We know that Apple doesn't just put a bigger screen on a device and call it a day. They always tweak iOS or iPadOS to make the experience as seamless as possible. With the foldable iPhone, I'm expecting some major software changes. If it's a flip-style phone, we'll likely see the same iOS we're used to, with just a few tweaks to account for the smaller external display. But for the book-style foldable, things will get interesting. Apple will likely have to revamp iPadOS to make it work well with that large screen. We've seen hints of multitasking on iPads, and it only makes sense to bring that same experience to a foldable device. Imagine having two apps open side by side, or even running 3 apps at once. The possibilities are huge. Now, let's talk about the release date. According to everything we know, we can expect the iPhone Fold and iPhone Flip to launch in 2026. Probably around the same time as the iPhone 18 series. Apple typically holds their events in September, so we can expect announcements around then, with the phones likely available to buy shortly after. That's about 18 months away. Not too far off, but it'll feel like a long wait. Here's where things get crazy. Let's talk pricing. The flip-style iPhone is expected to cost around $1,000, which puts it right on par with other foldable devices like the Motorola Razr and Galaxy Z Flip. But keep in mind, this phone might not have the same high-end specs we're used to with the Pro models. We're probably talking about a more basic camera setup, with just 2 cameras like the iPhone 16. But for the book-style iPhone, the price is expected to be way higher, possibly $2,000 or more. And honestly, I believe it. Apple's been known for premium pricing, and with a foldable design and top-tier internals, it makes sense that it would be on the expensive side. If you want the cutting-edge foldable technology, you're gonna have to pay a premium for it. So guys, that's the latest on the iPhone Fold and iPhone Flip. The tech is finally catching up, and Apple is getting ready to make their move into the foldable market. Are you excited about this? Are you going to be getting one when they launch in 2026? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want more leaks, rumors, and deep dives into Apple's products, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Catch you in the next one.